Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Dairoku. Just hanging out with Sammy, showing us some shit, and now we're back at the castle. I can't remember the name of it, but you know the one. Anyway, the one on the rocks, with the people, with the things in that one place. Why can't I don't remember the name of this freaking castle, but it's Hajun's castle, right? That one. Anyway. So, here we are. Azuchi Castle. That's what it is. I'm like, sorry, I thought it started with an A, but I was like, I don't remember. This is Azuchi Castle, right? We're taking a break here? Yup! Well, just follow me. Yup! Was way too loud, but like, I don't know, I can't do the voice right now. What? We didn't go to the parlor that we visited the last time, and instead go down a long hallway. There's so many rooms here. Maybe they're the treasure rooms that Akuro mentioned in the past. Based on the number of rooms I see, Hajun and the Oni must have amassed quite a collection. I thought they had a lot in the parlor, but I suppose that was only the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. Oh, oops. The rooms look the same, so I almost missed our goal. Sammy stops in front of a room. He casually opens the sliding door. Beyond the sliding door is a room that felt strangely comforting despite the design. Look at all the figures and the boxes and shit on the wall. Where are we? Akuro's room. Make yourself at home. Akuro's room? Sammy lays down on the straw tatami floor with his arm as his pillow. Shouldn't we at least pay our respects to Akuro first? No need to do so. I clicked that too fast because I thought he was going to have a longer sentence. Sorry, but anyway. Akuro comes into the room holding a tray with a beautiful kettle and a set of cups. Here. Sammy lets out a smile as he gets himself up from the floor. See? Perfect, ain't it? You got free drinks and a quiet place to rest. Mind you, I would have kicked you out if it wasn't for our guest here. Aw, he likes us. That's sweet. Akuro nonchalantly speaks as he carefully pours the tea into a cup and then places it in front of me. Here you go. Thank you. Akuro doesn't seem angry. I've seen them talking before, but I wonder if they're friends. Talk, observe, hold on, guide, we... Observe! I wonder if talking is then the proper answer for Sammy, because that's, you know... It's probably best I let them be so that I can observe anything interesting to know about them. I was showing her around Sakuratani, like the Kawakago. Anyway, pitfalls and other things. And then I see why she needs a break. I'm sure you were laughing as she had to go through the dangers. Akuro's such a good boy. Again, I really did not think he was going to be, like, one of my favorites at all. Like, because, again, you look at the cards and he just has that kind of gruff exterior. You just think, like, you know, when he just has a look that you're like, okay, I know the type. I know who the kind of character you're going to be. And, like, he's just not that character at all. And it's like, I just love him so much. He's just such a sweet boy. He's so sweet. You're like, I love you. You're like a cinnamon roll. Like, you're like kind of serious, but you're very squishy. I love you. Like, you're just so soft and gentle. Like, and I honestly thought Sammy was going to be like, more like, he's going to be the serious one. And it's like, no, he's a little goofy and a kind of a jerk, but like, in a playful kind of way, but not like the flirty way. That's definitely, Shiratsuki. He kind of looked like he'd be like, oh, the little fun flirty kind of one. So, you know, that's why he got the Lupin voice given to him. Akuro was just going to get this voice, even though he kind of had that look like maybe he'd have the deeper, tough voice, like whatever, but he wasn't quite there. He wasn't quite like the bro dude, but he just had a little more of that gruff, angry, like you think he just growls everything, and is angry all the time. Like, just angry at your existence. And he's just not. He's just so, like, he's just so soft. He's soft and squishy. Anyway. I love him. You're so horrible. Can't you tell that I'm super nice as her superior? Akuro's like, I got the ... Took like an hour to come up, and it's like, he's like, Akuro, how come you're not answering me? They're definitely friends, all right. And like Akuro's face right here is so cute because it's like he's just got a slight, there's just a teeny hint of a smirk. Like he's just like, just messing with you. Like, it's kind of adorable. So, Akuro, you mind her using this room again? I figure she's safe with you around. You'd like that too, right, Spacey? A place you can call a sanctuary. Yes, that would be great, but... If you don't mind this being a castle instead of a sanctuary, please be my guest. You can use this room as a place to rest. This is your room, though. That's actually true. Funny, we're like, look at the little action figures and the things. And it's like, those are yours. That's cute. You're a little bit of a nerd, too. I like it. Just a little bit. Thank you for your kindness. Though, to be honest, I do feel bad using this room just as a place to rest. Akuro's room's the best, you know. The tatami flooring reminds me of home. She has my full support, but I may kick you out, Sammy, since having you here can be a burden on me. And then he's still got that, like, sly kind of grin on his face right now. Oh, I totally get it. We spend a lot of time chatting. It's so good to see them friendly like this. I mean, Sammy's my teasing superior, and Akuro is someone I still don't know very well, and yet they just look like classmates fooling around. I love her goofy, happy face. Well, I better head out already. Spacey, we got a lot still coming, so brace yourself. Oh, there you go again, scaring her. Are you doing that on purpose? No, not at all. At least not today. She can't let her guard down against our next subject, Tesso. I see. Well, best of luck. This doesn't bode well considering Akuro is wishing me the best. I feel like I'm gonna faint soon. I drink the last drop of tea in my cup to prepare myself for the wonders that Sammy's going to show me. I mean, he's gonna show you some wonders at some point, but like not right now. Maybe in his round. Look, I'm just being wildly inappropriate, but you're used to that by now, right? You should be. Music. I was told to make my rounds through Sakuratani for a while to get more familiar with it. After I finished, I returned to Makatsuhi. Honestly, the scenery makes me feel like I'm on vacation in a hot spring resort. I'm still not very used to Makatsuhi, so I poke around as I continue my patrol. I guess this place looks a bit more familiar to me than Azuchi Castle or Amatsuna, where it feels like I've traveled through time. You want to mess with me? Bring it on, you bastard! Oh! Something was brewing. I turned at the noise and saw two angry Oni grappling each other. Get him! A lantern ghost. Oh, God. Let's join the fight! Who should we side with? Doesn't matter. I haven't been this pumped up in forever. Look, if we have weird things like lanterns and bikes talking, I gotta do weird fucking voices, so. An Ayakashi bike? Maybe it's a Tsukumogami. I guess bikes do like to get pumped up. I noticed that choice of words too, and I was like, I wonder if that's a pun, but... Tsukumogami is our new word. We probably could have just gone this way, but that's fine. Didn't think about that until I was halfway through the letters. Tsukumogami. Tools that are imbued with an ethereal being, like a god or spirit, over the course of several years. Within Sakuratani, they reside in Makatsuhi. The only reason I knew how to say Tsukumogami is because of Ayakashi Romance Reborn. Because I read it multiple times when I played that. Before I rage quit. Because they were really bad at giving me the cards after spending a fuck ton of money and throwing all my diamonds and shit. And I was like, I'm out! And then I rage quit. And never went back, and I refused to because the cards are too pretty, and I can't stop myself. And like, so we moved on. The ruckus was escalating, so I rushed over to the Ayakashi to mediate. Sorry. Don't push me! Excuse me, but... Yay! Fight! 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 It's been a while. I bumped into a lady with a kimono as some kids ran past me. There are too many Ayakashi gathering. At this rate, I'll never be able to get to the center of this mess. I was desperately looking for a solution when... I mean, the thing said with Akuro. Is that supposed to be Akuro? I can't tell if that's his shadow. Anyway, that's enough. I have no idea who said it. Ah! A composed, stern voice cut through the air, causing the Oni to cry out in fright. Okay, it was his shadow. I'm like, it said, like the chapter when it switched over, it was still chapter 1, but it said, like, with Akuro, and I'm like, okay, so I'm assuming you're going to run into him here. So I kind of thought maybe it was him, but I couldn't tell. I'm like, I can't tell if that's his shadow or not. So. Ugh. I was finally able to get past the Ayakashi to find Akuro there, breathing a heavy sigh. At his feet, the two Oni who were causing trouble had been laid out. I'm sorry, they were misbehaving again. No, I'm the one who should be thanking you. It's amazing how you were able to take them both out in an instant. And this happens almost daily, sadly enough. I need to be a little rough in disciplining them, and they never seem to learn, though. I see. He's the type to resort to violence. I mean, but like, doesn't he look like a gentle giant? And then and yet he's like, knocks them the fuck out, and he's like, it's because they don't listen. I feel like he resorts to violence because they don't listen, and they're about to get into a fight. And he's just like, it's just easier. This is just less hassle to just punch them both in the face and be done with it. You know? The spectators began to leave the area quickly, seemingly afraid of being reprimanded by Akuro. You must be very strong, Akuro. I have a little training in martial arts, though I'm no match against Shuten. Shuten. Akuro continued with very little expression. He seemed like he was being quite modest. A little martial arts gave him the ability to take on such huge Oni? He must be powerful. Maybe Sakuratani is full of such powerful Ayakashi that strength like his is considered average. Ever since I was stationed here, I've been learning more about the Ayakashi that live here. Who would you say is the strongest? Oh. Yamata no Orochi, the eight-headed serpent. He's so big that he can swallow entire villages. Is that Orochi? The one with Shu? Because there's serpent Ayakashi, and his name is Orochi. I'm just saying, really? Oh, hey. What? Yamata no Orochi? I thought that was a myth. I've seen the existence of things from folk tales among the Ayakashi of Sakuratani. I've come to believe that some tales I've heard are true. But I didn't think I'd have the chance to meet literal gods written in ancient books of legend. It's true that some myths are exaggerated, but most of them are phenomena that once existed. In the human legend, Susanoo no Mikoto was driven from the heavens. In agreeing to wed Princess Kushinada, he had to destroy the Orochi. That myth is said to be true among the Ayakashi. The old Tengu knows of Yamata no Orochi. Oh my god, I don't know why I couldn't read Yamata no Orochi like the third time. The old Tengu? You mean the elder of Amatsuna? I heard he's older than the Stone Age. Yes. However, Yamata no Orochi isn't from Sakuratani, nor the world of humans. Then, would you say that Yamata no Orochi was ever actually defeated? And that's what the Elder claims. However, in Sakuratani, no one ceases to exist, and Ayakashi never truly knows death. Well, that's good to know! You can't possibly die in any bad endings. I can, but you can't. So that's pretty cool. It's good to know. Oh, well, they could be sealed. They can be sealed, certainly, but it has to be done by an Ayakashimori, doesn't it? Oh, is that going to be the ending? We're going to have to seal our boyfriend and we're just going to walk around? I just have him sealed in this pendant. Slightly depressing. But he's not really dead, so, you know. Any Ayakashi that commits a crime can be sealed away by us Ayakashimori. We bind their power, making them unable to fight. Then we use a detainment spell and seal them away. The seal is basically imprisonment, from my understanding. They aren't erased from the world, but they're locked up until they settle down. I understood it to be a process of purification. Was I wrong in my interpretation? And this seal exists to temper an Ayakashi gone rogue. If an Ayakashi chooses to become defiant, it's only proper to seal them. In any world, there are consequences for choosing evil. That said, there are also those who are falsely condemned and pushed into the darkness. Falsely condemned? I gasped at such a terrible thought. That was me gasping at the terrible thought. Hold on. Boop. Falsely accused? Oh, interesting comment around chapter 1. Falsely accused, question mark? That must be like a split point somewhere. Because, like, we've never had it pop up after a choice like that. Interesting. I mean, does this one have a flowchart? Hold on. It does. Okay. Actually, you know what? We never looked at the flowchart. I want to see what it looks. Okay. This is interesting. So this is the prologue. It's interesting that there's a character associated with it. Huh. Why do we have a couple chapters that are associated with Tokiwa? I mean, there's secondary characters, maybe because... Oh, maybe it's just showing these are the characters that are in it? But, like, Seimi was there with Tokiwa in those chapters, so I'm kind of interested into what that means, like why certain ones are highlighted. You know what I mean? Because it highlights certain characters, and it might be like, oh, these are the ones that you met, the people you meet along the way. These are the people in your neighborhood. You know, but, like, there was no one in this one? And then, interesting. Oh, these are all the different things we did. Okay. All right, so I'm guessing then. So this makes me think that, okay, not necessarily that these choices didn't mean anything, because, like, obviously, whatever choice maybe you make, like when we were talking to Shiratsuki, right? You make the right choice and that gives you points for him that might help down the road or whatever. So I'm assuming that those choices. But when we went on the map, it wouldn't have mattered which one we went to first. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe this is just the logical order. Like, okay, you go here first, and then you go here, and then you go here, and then you go here, and then you go and meet Shu at the end. Like, and then that's just... But you could have gone in any freaking order, because it looks like you'd go to all of these. And then they all lead to where we are now with Akuro. And this... wow, cool! All right. So this flowchart is a little, like... It's a simpler flowchart, say, than some of the other ones. Like the psychedelic of the Black Butterfly one, where it was just like, fucking, there was thing... that one just seemed very complicated. This is very simple, straightforward. And does Cupid Parasite have the flowchart? There's another one that had a flowchart. I can't remember for the life of me now. I can't remember. But it's like, but it's similar to this where you're like, oh, okay, here and here, and like, you know. But that's interesting. So, okay. And I kind of like the fact that when you do a split, this will tell you we made that choice, and then it popped up in the corner and it was like falsely accused, and you're like, oh, now we're on this path. Interesting. Interesting. So, anyway. So, People are falsely accused here too? As someone who was here to maintain order among the Ayakashi, I couldn't just dismiss the possibility. Akuro was looking far into the distance, but tilted his head when he heard my question. Not exactly. The concepts of sin and punishment are human. Humans and Ayakashi are similar, but different. Sin is not even an idea to them. I feel like this is a subject where we might have some difficulty understanding each other. Are these ideas solely from the human world? Rounds at Makatsuhi. Our conversation went on longer than anticipated, and I returned to Nakakuni as quickly as I could. As usual, there are lots of Ayakashi about. Seems like many of them like new things, so they must enjoy being in Nakakuni. As such thoughts crossed my mind, I contemplated which sector to go to. Hey, newbie! You're getting the hang of this. It seemed like Seimi was waiting for me. Was he spying on me? It was possible. I was left to patrol on my own, despite only having just been assigned here. I wouldn't be surprised if my performance was being observed. Well, the funny part is, okay, so here's the thing that's weird. We talked to Akuro, and Seimi's like, okay, we gotta get going. Or he's like, I've gotta go. And I was like, oh, he's gonna leave us? And he's like, we've got some shit we need to do. She's not gonna be able to handle this. And then we just were not anywhere. None of that happened. Like, that conversation we had with Akuro before we left his room makes no fucking sense. Because you're like, oh, okay. Seimi's gonna show us some shit, kind of like he did with the thingamajiggies that tried to lure us into the river and were gonna drown us. With the baby crying. So, it was like, oh, okay, he's got another one of that kind of thing for us. And then all of a sudden we're just hanging out in Makatsuhi like, oh, hey! Akuro, what's up? And, like, we didn't just leave your room 2 minutes. What? It's like there was a part missing. Like, so, I'm enjoying the game because I like the characters, but overall, it feels a little disjointed still at this point. Like, and maybe once you play through it once and then you go through it, you're like, okay, but there's so many parts that you're just, I have no idea what is happening until we get to the end, and you're like, okay. An image, something maybe written better, I don't know. Again, maybe it's just me being dumb, I don't know. But then there's stuff like this where we're talking, you're like, okay, we're gonna go on this thing, and there's not even like a thought in her head where it, you know, when it splits, now all of a sudden she's alone, and where it's like, oh my god, after dealing with the shit Seimi showed me, like, blah, 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 where she just, like, recaps it in a sentence or two, where you're like, oh, okay, that's not a scene we saw. But they just acted like it didn't happen, but he made it sound like he's gonna show us some other shit, and then he's not there, and unless it's supposed to be like, okay, he was like, I've gotta go, I'm gonna show you shit later, you go do your own thing for right now, type of a thing. But, again, that to me feels like the writing is just not the best. Where you're like, I gotta go. I'm gonna show her some crazy shit. And then you're all alone, and then all of a sudden now it's like, time to show you the crazy shit. And you're like, what? I'm like left like thinking that we missed a part or something was left out, and now you're gonna do it, and it's like, and I don't think it's like a bad translation. I think it's just disjointed writing. You know? Where, like, you're like, you, when you're writing, know what's going on in your head, but when I'm reading it, I have no idea what's going on in your head, and it makes no sense to me as I'm reading it. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of that. Like, am I just stupid? I mean, I could just be, like overwhelmed with a lot of things and so busy with a lot of things that I'm just dumb and can't fucking figure this out, but I enjoy the characters, though, but I just feel like, overall, so far at this point, I wouldn't be like, oh my god, that's like the best game ever. It's like, I'm having fun. I love the characters, and I like our main character, and I like the conversations we have with people, and like whatever, and like the way they jive off each other. But overall, the story itself, I mean, yes, we're at the very beginning, so we haven't gotten deep into it. But I just don't have like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing. Because I'm like, I don't know. Because it might be amazing if I understood what the fuck was happening half the time. But it's not really good at explaining it because I feel like the writing is not the best. Like, You know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel like the story is done cohesively because there's so many things where you're like, something is happening. I mean, the scene that we just saw with Akuro was fine. Oh, there's two Oni gonna fight, and there's all these people getting in, and I can't get. And then, oh, Akuro stopped it. Cool, totally makes sense. But like the whole other thing, where like, oh, there's a little kid and a big Oni's grabbing them, and then this happens, and then they throw a name out, like the what the fuck was it? The Shikigawari thing, whatever the fuck it was, you know, that started with a Z. Whatever, and they're like, oh, and then they mention it, but they don't mention that, oh, that child thing is this kind of Ayakashi, and oh, wait, it's just, you get it at the end, and you get this whole thing, you're like, what the fuck is happening? And then this character shows up, and then this character shows up, and then all this just, and you're like, what? And then all of a sudden, Akuro's like, oh, yeah, that whatever thing was just wanted to play with Mateo, and then everything's good, and they're like, so the kid that was being accosted by the Oni was actually just another little Ayakashi monster that looks like a child that now you're giving me a name for, but I didn't know that, so good, okay, I guess I put the pieces together myself. And Akuro was the one lifting it up because it was like, hey, what are you doing? Stop messing with Mateo, buddy. Okay, bye. And then, like, everything's fine. But you're like, but, like, it made no motherfucking sense until the end, and you're like, I guess that's what happened? But they just kind of go like, oh, it's cool, all right. And you're like, and like, why did every other character show up and then go, and like, what the fuck was happening there? It just felt like a drunk person wrote it. So I'm like, and then, like, I don't know, I just feel like there's too many instances where I'm like, I don't know what is happening here. Why did we mention this? And I mean, that happens in every game, you know what I mean? Or any story where you're like, this is mentioned, and you're like, and we're just never going to bring that up again? We mentioned this, but it's never... We talked about, we're going to go to that party later, remember? Cool. And then the party never, and it's like we forget that existed. I mean, it happens in every show, movie, whatever. So, but it's like, I think it stands out to me because it's like, there's just so much of this disjointed weirdness happening in this game where I'm just like, what? Oh, I think I get it. I don't know. And then, or shit just doesn't happen and you're like, how do we end up here? Like, and it could just be like the choices we made. But we didn't make any choices unless it was if we were to talk to them, maybe it would. But no, there wasn't even a split there in the flowchart. So I don't get it. I don't know. So I feel like I enjoy the characters and I have fun like with that kind of banter and the characters and stuff. But like the story itself, I'm like, I don't know because I don't know what's going on half the time. And I just feel like there's going to get to the point where it's going to be like heavier things or like more like intense story. You know what I mean? Where you're going to have to like comprehend what's going on and I'm not going to be able to follow it if it keeps going this way, you know? So overall, I still like the game, but it is one of those. I'm going to question though why you chose this one to localize when the story is a little disjointed and doesn't really make sense when there's probably other ones that have really good stories. You know? But I'm also not going to complain because, you know, I like the characters, so, and just more Otome games. Just localize them all, even if they suck. I don't care. Just do them all. As long as the art's pretty. So, if the art's pretty, I don't give a shit if the story sucks. Makes it hard to play, but... I mean, this one's going to be easy to play, because, like, again, I like the characters, but... I'm on that, like, I'm not really 100% sure where I stand on this one yet, so... Anyway. I was left to patrol on my own despite only having just been assigned here. I wouldn't be surprised if my performance was being observed. I think we read that. I can see those wheels turning right now. I really was just on my way out. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still not sure if you're able to read minds, so I was a bit on edge. Tadashi told me the same thing once. He thought I was an Ayakashi called a Satori. A real Satori is nothing like me, though. How's it been? Having any issues? I'm having an issue with why the fuck we were at Akuro's and you were going to show me that Tesso thing and then you just vanished, like, poofed out. Although it feels like he's being dismissive, I do believe that he actually cares. I ran into some Makatsuhi Oni fighting, but Akuro intervened. Aside from that, I haven't really run into any problems, which is good because I'm not going to be able to do the making a star thing, which we're going to have to do later, and I'm not going to be prepared for it. I'm glad to hear it. The Oni have been a bunch of introverted gamers lately. What combat is in their true nature? It's rare that anyone would challenge Akuro, let alone beat him, so there's no need to worry. I'm sure things will go as they usually... Huh? Someone's calling. It's an emergency call. Naturally, there's no reception in Sakuratani, but there's a special spell in place that allows us to use phones like we do in the real world. Tadashi, what's going on? There are serpents fighting in Kikutsune. It seems like they're really pissed off. They aren't stopping. Whoa, whoa! Is that like... Is this Samey's phone with the kitty charm on it? Or is it supposed to be Tadashi's? Because that's like his notebook. I heard Yakumo yelling through the phone, followed by a big explosion. Yakumo, are you okay? Yeah, somehow. You need to calm down. No, you can't. Oh my god, don't kill Yakumo. Fortunately, Yakumo seemed to be safe. The situation still sounded concerning, especially with the call ending so suddenly. Oh, this is a lot for Tadashi to handle on his own. Oh, we should head over there right away. Oh god, I'm gonna have to do a fucking triangle thingy. I mean, it's a star thingy, aren't I? Sammy didn't seem too alarmed, but he took out his prayer beads and began to chant the spell for an emergency teleportation circle. Here, Spacey. The beads had powers of their own, emitting light as Sammy took my hand. I heard about this spell in training, but hadn't had the opportunity to practice it myself. I felt nervous to walk into it blindly like this. Please be better than the Oborogoruma. Oborogoruma. I'm never going to be able to say that. Maybe by the end. I grabbed Samey's hand and prayed. The building before my eyes vanished, and we were engulfed in darkness similar to midnight. I didn't feel like I was flying. I didn't feel like I was moving at all. It's like passing through the... Oh. Kokuromon. Kokuromon. Oh, I don't know why my brain was like... You know what it is? Because you do the Oborogoruma? And I'm like, Koko... And they're like, no, that's a Koku. And I'm like, but I couldn't... But I'm like... I can see it's a U, but my brain is like, Koko? No, Koku. And I'm like, no. Like, I can't with the words today. Anyway. Kokuromon. Kokuromon. The feeling was similar to walking along a dark path with the faintest light to guide the way. We'll get our destination in a few seconds. We'll get to our destination in a few seconds. I should learn how to read and say words. The serpents are hard to deal with, so just watch. Make sure to cast a barrier around yourself. Okay, but I didn't learn barrier spells yet. I'm just kidding. I gripped my beads tight and mentally went over the spells I had memorized. I wonder if we ever like fail one of the thingies and we were like, bad ending, you dead. you didn't do a barrier. Before I could run through them all, everything around us became so bright. Whoa. Mitsuchi plotting? The next thing I knew, I was standing in the city of Kikutsune, illuminated by the soft glow of the dreamlike lamps. That's... I'm gonna start trying to, because I don't realize, like, sometimes, like, I forget that, like, when the chapter 1 and it tells you the little thing pops up in the right-hand corner that you might not see it, because if you're multitasking or whatever, so I'll try to read that when those pop up. I've been trying to... I did that the last 2 times, but... You know... It's just because it's not like a chapter 2, like a big thing. It's like just a little thing in the right corner. And I'm just like, yep, okay, it's chapter 1 again. But like, I don't know. So I'll try to remember to read those out loud when we, like, chapter 1, this happening. Chapter 1, still continuing. Chapter 1, holy shit, it's the longest chapter ever. That kind of thing. Wow. So that's what teleportation feels like. I probably shouldn't be impressed right now. Scram! Get out of here if you know what's good for you! If I didn't know better, I'd have thought Shu was causing problems here, but it wasn't so. 2 serpents with matching armbands were limping away, shoulders slumped. Huh. You took care of it, huh, Shu? Thanks. Sammy took a step forward before I could. He flashed his perfect smile. One that would fool anyone who didn't know him. Perfect is also in quotes. His perfect smile. Shu didn't seem to respond to it. He looked away and just walked off like the other serpents. I see how it is. Y'all clean up your own mess, is that it? That's the Shire of Mitsuchi for ya. Despite the levity of his remark, I thought I heard a slight note of seriousness in his tone. You two... Yakumo! Yakumo was pushing through the Ayakashi, watching from the sidelines. He looked completely worn out. Yakumo, are you okay? Somehow, I'm sorry about all that. It was all I could do to protect the building and make sure no one got hurt. Sad puppet face.
Oh, don't be modest. You did swell. As soon as I heard the dog barking, I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Dog? Wait, does he mean Yakumo? Tamamo! I know. I came to make sure my store wouldn't be damaged. You did great. Shiratsuki and Tamamo are here too? This seemed like one hell of a situation. I'm sure everyone was just as curious about it. Thank you very much, but it was Shu who stopped the fight. I was useless here.
Chin up, Tadashi. This was no walk in the park. Mitsuchi's activity lately has been suspicious, to say the least. Yeah, tensions have been rather high, it seems. We're all wondering what they're plotting.
Shiratsuki looked a lot more grim than usual. I get the sense that he doesn't have the best impression of Mitsuchi. Serpents conspiring is one thing, but this is bordering on unsafe. Remember the other day when someone was hurt during the Cat and Kappa fight?
Oh, I remember. You know, in the old days, no one ever got injured like that.
I was listening in on Shiratsuki and Tamamo when Sammy focused his attention on me.
Got a pop quiz for you. Why don't Ayakashi get hurt in Sakuratani?
This question came up in a test for new hires. Daigyoku, okay. Fujizakura, yeah. The Fujizakura Daigyoku, yeah, is Sakuratani's core. The crystal suppresses the Ayakashi. Oop. Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh. I don't know, I was thinking, like, I'm like, but it's Sakura, but with a Z, Zakura. And then I'm like, no, right, it's Fujizakura. I couldn't for the life of me for some reason. I don't. Look, I cannot brain right now. I'm sorry, but my brain is like fucking fried. I did a lot of cleaning and shit today and like packing and just a lot of like just physically and I like work so much scrubbing of outdoor furniture. Not even all of it, just scrubbing the freaking like 2 cushions that were just disgusting. They look amazing. And then like freaking packing and like my shoulders hurt and my brain hurt and I'm just tired. I'm just exhausted, but I'm powering through for you. So like I just can't with words or thinking right now. I don't know. Fujizakura Daigyoku, the center of Sakuratani. Its layout is unknown as there's no documentation on it. The Daigyoku is what bonds the human world and Sakuratani together as one entity. The details of its working are unclear. Descendants of the first Ayakashimori, who created Sakuratani, possess the ability to affect it. Oh, we're gonna find out we're like a descendant from one of the first people and we have the power. Oh, we're the special! I said we don't have to play the game anymore.
You're very good. Do you go home and study every night?
He's complimenting me, but why don't I feel happy about it? I sighed while my boss carried on the way he usually did.
How do you feel about Shiratsuki's take on it? That the core power of this place is weakening.
It makes sense. If the power of the crystal is lost, the Ayakashi would be able to actually do enough harm to kill each other.
Correct. As long as the barrier exists, it will cancel out Ayakashi's powers in battle.
If this cornerstone of our peace is lost, Sakuratani will drown in turmoil instantly. Your world wouldn't be safe from it either. Okay, so now we know the central conflict of the game is the central crystal stony tree thingy. Whatever it is. Anyway. Because the Fujizakura was a tree, but now this is the Fujizakura Daigyoku. So, was it different? And then they said it was like a crystal-y thing? I don't know. Was there a crystal in the tree? Whatever. Whatever it is. During training, I learned that Sakuratani and the real world were two sides of the same coin. If order was lost in Sakuratani, the real world would follow. The chaos would manifest in catastrophe or war. They said major wars in history, even the two world wars, were directly tied to things that had occurred in Sakuratani.
I wonder if it'll stabilize with a ritual.
Ritual! Let's find that. But you don't give me the Zyger whatever thingy, animal thingy that was attacking Akuro. You don't tell me that! But, okay. Rituals! Shrine rituals to worship deities! And we could have figured that out. Like, okay, it's a worship or it's a thing. You know, you don't really need a definition of a ritual to kind of be like, yeah, no, I get what you're talking about. The lingering silence was broken by Seimi's musing. But we can't do the ritual anymore, right? I learned that in training, too. Sakuratani's core, the Fujizakura crystal, was created by the first Ayakashimori himself. Oh my god, this is now a thing dump. First Ayakashimori, the mysterious Ayakashimori of legend who is said to have created Sakuratani. Oh, okay. So I get it. I get exactly. We are definitely the special, like I said. I'm not dumb. So it's like, only the Fujizakura crystal was created by the first Ayakashimori, and only the descendants of the first Ayakashimori can strengthen it, but like, they're all dead and nobody's on. Oh wait, it's me! I can do it! Come on. Come on! What, like you haven't watched every single, read every single young adult fucking dystopian novel or watched every fucking movie and, the main character is always, the special? We the fucking special. I mean, we're the special in these games because we're the special and all the boys want to date us. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, right? And that's what we come here for, right? But also, we're the special and we're the only ones who can save the universe and date all the boys. I like that. I'm here for it. Only descendants who carry his blood can intervene, but they all died off centuries ago. That you know of! You're some kind of weird bastard child! Great-great-grandchild or some shit.
Well, we could try strengthening people's faith. If mankind prays at hand period levels, I bet Sakuratani would stabilize in no time.
Oh, wow! That's amazing, Tokitsugu! That's such a good idea! Yakumo, that wasn't in our training. Thoughts and prayers can't stabilize Sakuratani. The shade in that right there is just funny. Thoughts and prayers aren't gonna fix this shit. Thoughts and prayers. Yeah, that's gonna fix it. I just feel like that is like a slap in the face to everybody when you're like, everything is, I need to do the, thoughts and prayers. Yeah, thanks. When I'm sitting here trying to change my tire on my car and you're just like, thoughts and prayers, that'll fix it. Call me a tow truck, bitch. My phone's dead. I don't know why it's just so fucking funny. Fucking Yakumo. Yeah, we should get thoughts and prayers. And they're like, it's not gonna do jack shit. Yakumo, stop it. Oh my god. We just threw that shade in his face.
She is correct. Seimi, you need not joke. The fool dog is still wagging his tail.
What? Poor Yakumo. Yakumo.
There is a better way. If the direct bloodline is ended, all you have to do is find a tributary bloodline.
Oh, that's going to be us. Okay, we'll be the tributary bloodline. That makes sense then. I don't know why I don't just go to the left instead of going all the way to the right, but whatever. Tributary bloodline. Bloodlines that aren't directly related to the first Ayakashimori. So that's like anybody, so why the fuck haven't we done this before?
If it was not easy, we wouldn't be having so many problems. Well, perhaps you lack the talent to find what you're looking for.
Oh! Slaps! Tamamo gave an elegant smile as she fanned herself. Seimi seemed to be irked, and a somewhat bitter smile appeared on his face. And we're just gonna fist bump over in the corner like, I'm giggling. And you're like, yeah! I mean, I like Seimi and all, but every once in a while it needs to be slapped down a peg or two. And I like that she kind of just threw shade at him. Huh?
Hey, do you have any hints? I want to know. Please, Tamamo. I understand how you feel. Tamamo's eyes and ears are the keenest in the world. I've asked her to share her teachings with me so many times. Oh, stop exaggerating. I just love to talk. And naturally, I hear things from all over. And knowledge from mountain to mountain. Meow meow! There they are! You better bring me into the conversation!
I don't know if that was Kinka's voice, but it is now. It's my peppy girl voice, and she's the peppiest girl. My god, I forgot how much I love her. I really did. Is that her tail? She's got like a little bite, but it's got like a little poodle puff on it. Like, oh my god. Stop it. Just like the first time, Kinka was hugging me instantly. I just love her. I just want to pet her. I just want to pat her on the head like, pat, pat. She just deserves head pats.
It won't be easy to locate. You'll have to go with the flow. It's like finding something you've lost.
Tamamo's hair is goddamn glorious, though. Can we just right now? Because normally we don't see, like, she's got the things on the side. Like, Jesus. Her hair is like 30 feet long.
Mew mew!
Like mute, like she was a real cat. Okay, whatever.
The boys are going to look for something. You and Shino and I can drink tea together. Yay!
And no thank you. I have to work.
It's okay. You need a break, don't you? You should take a load off.
Yeah, Samy's like, nah, you're just a girl, it's fine. And then I'm going to be the one that saves your ass. There you go, Sammy. Oh, thank you. No, I'm sure he's not actually being a condescending prick like that. He's like, yeah, seriously, but it's fine. We'll handle it. Knowing him, he must have caught on to the fact that I was interested in what they had to say. He's got such an ability to read people. Even if he tests or teases me, I can't really say that he's a bad boss. He is annoying at times, but very dependable. And hot, so. But also shady, because, you know, never opens his eyes. Yee! Shino! Shino! Oh, that's right. Shino is me. But with Tamamo and with Kinka, they always just call me Shino. They don't call me Spacey. Everybody else does, but they fucked up with them. I forgot. Because for some reason, I thought she was talking about Shiratsuki for some reason. But they call him Shiro. Not Shino. So I just, in my head, was like, oh, she's talking about Shiratsuki, whatever. And I'm like, no, she's talking about me. Spacey! Spacey! We just have to remember to change it. I'm glad I had some snacks ready.
Wow, you've got some fans. Tadashi, I bet you're wishing you weren't born male so you could join the three sisters, eh?
Hey! Tokitsugu! Shh! Shh! Yakumo, do you just want to be one of the girls, or are you just into one of these girls? I just, in my brain, and just based on the things that have happened, I'm like, Yakumo, are you totally into Kinka? He's like, she's so pretty. I think about her all the time, and her pretty pink hair, and her fluffy white ears. I bet he's into her. That's so cute. I ship it.
And that kind of reaction only makes us all want to say more.
What? Oh, I clicked too fast.
He's right.
What does that mean? He's just so easy to poke fun at. As I watched the three go at it, Kinka pushed me from behind, urging me inside Tamamo's store. And I love this too, because she's like, Tadashi, you're just too easy to dick around with. Like Tadashi, in your like, she kind of gets in on it too. Instead of being like, oh, they're so mean to him, stop. It's like, he's so easy to poke fun at. Like, Tadashi will fall for anything. Like, it's just so funny. Yes, Norton. Map select common route chapter 1. Okay. Map select 2. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, hold on. Ooh. Field of Autumn Leaves. We have a battle going on over here. Oh no, I don't like that. I don't want to do that. No. Anyway, so we have the field. So we're gonna have to do that, but we go to Shiratsuki first. Whoops. Whoops. I can't, because I'm going up and it's. There we go. It's weird because you're like, I'm going up and it's like, no, you have to go. Now it's just. I haven't gotten the navigation of like the buttons. You're like, I'm just expecting from there to go up. But it's like, no, it's technically right, even though it's up and right. Anyway. Go to Kikutsune. And we go to Shiratsuki. Yes, it is. I guess, again, it probably doesn't matter, but maybe this is hanging out with Chapter 1, Information. I'm still nervous about going on patrol alone. I just hope that I don't come across any difficult issues. See, and here's the thing that's weird. I mean, okay, it's kind of like, oh, we're going to go off and have a break with the girls. And then we don't get to see that, which is fine, I guess, but it is a little, I feel like, and I don't know why it feels disjointed a little. It just, because any other game, if it was like, okay, we're going to go off with the girls, haha, Tadashi's so easy to tease, and then it faded to like this, where it's like, okay, I'm nervous about going on patrol. You know, I think it's because you have the map choices, so you can go any of those places, so they can't start each one with like, after having tea with the girls, where in a normal game it would fade and you'd be like, after having tea with the girls, I was going out on patrol. And then we'd be, I'm still nervous about going on patrol alone, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And you'd be like, oh, okay, so we just don't get to see that scene. And in this game, okay, like right now we can infer we're not going to see that scene. But because you have the map select, which is cool, because it gives you a little like, oh, it's a little more interactive. But I think that makes it a little weirder, even though you could do these in any order. But at the same time, the first time we went through and we went, where did we go first? Who did we talk to? And then the next scene, it was like, oh, after talking to Akuro or whatever, you're like, wait, what? So if you hadn't gone in that order, it would have sounded really weird. You know what I mean? You would have been like, what if I picked going to see Hiro first? And it would have been like, oh, I talked to Akuro before, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, because there was like a line in there. I'm like, huh, weird. But that wouldn't have made sense? I don't know. So I'm not sure. Like, I like the map function, and I think it's kind of cool that you can bounce around and do whatever. You know, and it's not like, oh, if I'm picking talking to Shiratsuki, I'm not going to do those other scenes, and those other ones are going to be when I'm meeting those characters in particular. You're going to do all of them, and it doesn't fucking make a difference. But it gives you a little more interactivity. So I like it, but I also feel like that also makes the story a little bit harder to follow sometimes, because after we know that, okay, we had tea and snacks with Kinka and Tamamo, but all of a sudden you're here and you're like, and it's like a whole other scene, and I guess we're not going to see the other one. I think it's just because I'm used to after having snacks with them, blah, 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 and then you go on your way. But now it's like, okay, that scene just ended. We're good. Okay. It just seems like it's a harsher cut. It's a harsher transition from point A and point B. It's more like point A to point C, with no like little B transition in between to be like, and now that we're done with A, we're moving on to C. And you're like, okay, it's just A, C. What? Fuck. So I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that, but I think it's just me. It's just me and my brain not processing it. Like, it doesn't have the nice flow that I'm used to. So I'm like, okay, I'm transitioned in. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, right. Like, just not smart enough for this right now, I guess. I don't know. I'm still nervous about going on patrol alone. I just hope that I don't come across any difficult issues. Careful not to get lost in the streets, I continue my rounds without any particular problems. I continue walking for a bit and begin to hear a soft and gentle voice from somewhere. It's as if some people are having a banquet. In order to check in on what was going on, I headed toward the voices. And there, several Ayakashi were in the middle of joyfully partaking in some sake. Within them, I could see Shiratsuki. Everyone seems like they're having fun. Seems like there aren't any problems here, so I guess I can just leave them alone. Watching over them as I hid myself in the shadows, I was about to quietly leave so as not to disturb them.
Oh?
My eyes happened to meet Shiratsuki's. Seeing that Shiratsuki noticed me, the other Ayakashi turned my way. I became embarrassed, having gathered attention of a surprisingly large number of Ayakashi. Good evening. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, don't be so afraid. And this isn't some boring meeting, just a casual party between friends. I just happened to have a drink or two, and before I knew it, it became a party. Would you care for a drink as well?
I appreciate your offer, but I'll decline as I'm still on the job.
Then, how about we just have a chat? It'd be much more fun with a lovely lady around. And the sake will taste so much better. It's a party, yet I can't seem to get into the spirit looking at all these miserable faces.
Hey, who are you calling miserable? You that too. I'm no different though. This is a bizarre mood only drunks get into. Or Spacey when she just can't brain shit anymore.
And that being the case, I'd be oh so happy if you could spare the time.
If that's the case, I'd be honored to join you all. However, Shiratsuki, saying that a lady would make things fun can be taken to imply that women are meant to serve the role of entertainment. Whoa! She's like, slap! Don't be a misogynist. It's sexual harassment, so please do be careful, okay? I don't know why it's so funny. Shiratsuki's like, oh, what? He went from happy to, like, pouty.
What is sexual harassment?
Oh, fuck! I meant to click because I didn't think... I clicked right as, like, it was going really slow, and I clicked right as it sped up, so it just skipped it. So anyway.
What is sexual harassment? Is it as unpleasant as I think it sounds?
The real world changes so fast it makes my eyes spin, and its words change. Oh no, that's Shiratsuki. Oh, I was like, that didn't make sense. I just saw the S. Anyway.
And the real world changes so fast and it makes my eyes spin, and its words change just as quickly.
Oh, right. They may have called it something different in the olden days. So sexual harassment is...
It's fine. It's something you don't like, right? I meant no harm by it, so please forgive me.
I'm not angry, and I'm sorry too for bringing up a rule from the real world. I forgot the gap between human and Ayakashi logic. They wouldn't have such a concept here. So you're like, okay, so you know when you grope Tamamo and tell her boobies are nice? It's like, oh, all the time. Yeah, that's sexual harassment. Really? She doesn't seem to mind. Well, maybe she does. Did you ask her?
She's never said.
Maybe she just feels like she can't tell you that, Shiratsuki. Jesus. Obviously, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. He may be flirty, but he's a good flirty boy. Not a handsy jerk boy. He's just a little flirty. He doesn't understand that hugging someone when you first meet, I might not be a hugger. I'm okay with it, to be honest. It's Shiratsuki to be like, you're cute, it's okay. You're harmless. It's fine. Maybe. You know, actually with Shiratsuki, you're better off. Like, just maybe don't. Don't hug me just yet. Because otherwise you're gonna think that's like, you can just, like, lick my face or something weird. So just maybe don't. Shiratsuki's overly friendly is what I'm saying. Anyway.
And that couldn't be helped. You're still just a newbie, Ayakashimori.
As Shiratsuki spoke, he subtly opened up a space next to him. He must mean for me to sit next to him. I intended to listen to them talk from a corner, but if Kikutsune Shire was being considerate of me, I couldn't just turn him down. I nervously sat down next to Shiratsuki. Okay then, thank you.
Yes, very good.
Shiratsuki nods happily, and the party that had just been on pause started up again. Most of them just had their own conversations with those around them as they shared drinks with each other. You have a lot of friends, don't you, Shiratsuki?
True. There's no end to the friends I have. I have so many BFFs, you see. Thanks to my network, I hear a lot of information.
Oh, so he knows BFF. Is it Yakumo who's teaching him these words? Shirais really are popular. What sort of information do you get?
Oh, a mix of so many things. Things like who fights whom, business in other sectors, and the best culinary spots in town. Something that came up recently was... Oh yes, about the Nekomata. How it's dangerous to let them near the Ningyo.
It's dangerous to let Nekomata near Ningyo? Why is... Oh. I realized the answer before I finished. Right, Nekomata and Ningyo are like cats and fish. Something's bound to happen between them, but Nekomata just like to play. Oh wait, was that Shiratsuki saying that? Oh, no, that was... Shit. Never mind. I realized the answer. That was Shiratsuki reading that. I thought it was... I don't know why I can't tell the difference between me and Shiratsuki. You'd think I'd be able to figure it out, but no. It would have been so much harder if we kept Shino as our name, because then it would have been Shiratsuki and Shino, and I never would have been able to figure out who was talking. Just having an S is confusing. Anyway.
Right. Nekomata and Ningyo are like cats and fish. Something's bound to happen between them, but Nekomata just like to play.
You're right. So then, has there ever been a case where a Ningyo was actually hurt by a Nekomata?
There were several close calls, but since everyone stays careful, there's never been an incident that couldn't be undone. At least, as far as I know.
As far as he knows?
A few days ago, we carelessly allowed some Nekomata near the Ningyo. It was so dangerous that, well, I'm sure I don't need to go on.
Right. I'll be sure to be careful, too.
Right. Thanks.
I learned so much by talking to you, Shiratsuki. Is there anything else you can share with me? We're going to go overtime, obviously, because we're overtime right now and we're having a conversation with Shiratsuki, so...
Let's see. I'm sure the 6th would be telling you about the more fundamental things. So aside from those... Oh, that's right. Let me tell you how to safely subdue small quarrels between Kitsune and Tanuki.
There's a way to do that? Please tell me.
When you hear the words Kitsune or Tanuki, what comes to mind?
After a bit of thought, I spoke aloud my thoughts. Oh, I know. It's what they have in common. They're both good at transforming, right?
Exactly. Both we and Tanuki pride ourselves in our exceptional ability to transform. And that's what you use. If you come across a Kitsune and Tanuki fighting, guide them into determining the victor through a duel of who can transform better. Any Kitsune or Tanuki would take up that challenge. After that, you let them be, and they'll continue with their duel for a while.
I see. That would be a safe resolution. That's really helpful.
You're so honest. And there's so many cunning and experienced Ayakashimori, so someone like you is quite nice and refreshing.
Are you saying I'm simple?
Oh, don't read into it so much. I'm only paying you a compliment. I think I just like being around such an unusual Ayakashimori.
Is it because I'm a woman, too? Because that seems different. I mean, you might have other ones floating around here. I don't know, but I'm just saying. Me, Seimi, Yakumo, I'm the only girl. That makes me different. You've probably seen so many, after all.
True. It's been quite a while since I arrived at Sakuratani, became a shire, and came to know all the Ayakashimori. I've seen so many come and leave before me. I do have information on Ayakashimori because of that. I may know even more about Ayakashimori than you do, but what do you think?
Well... It doesn't really matter. I'm not sure about that. I am not sure about that. I'm not so sure about that.
Oh, and why is that?
Learning information about others and passing is one thing. I personally feel that knowledge extends much deeper than what we expect. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a bit presumptuous of me to say.
Well, now it seems like you get it.
I don't know about that. Yeah, me! This whole game. It seems like you get it. I don't know about that.
Excessive modesty can sound insulting at times. But one must always do things in moderation, I think.
I wasn't trying to be modest. I realize now that Shiratsuki and I had similar thoughts.
And the reason why some feel superior is because discovery can feel like a precious thing, and some guard that gift more fiercely than others. I feel that one cannot say one knows something until the true essence of it can be distilled and expressed in one's own words.
That's true. I guess on top of just knowing things and coming across a lot of information, you really do know all sorts of things.
Oh, please. Even I don't know everything. And that's where I'm nothing against the Tengu and their extensive knowledge. I think the Oni and Makatsuhi know a lot in the case of video games. Other than that, perhaps old artwork.
There was no end to Shiratsuki's talk as he taught me about so many things. But I felt something was off. Oh, that's right. Shiratsuki did say he has a lot of friends, but I feel a distance from him somehow. I think he acts the same with other Ayakashimori. Even if he seems so friendly, I wonder if that's just how it is between humans and Ayakashi. She's like, that makes me sad. I want to get closer to you. Yes. I may have been thinking too much about it, but if that was the case, I still had the question as to why he would only be acting friendly.
My, it was so fun to talk with you at this party. Thank you for the chat while you were on duty.
Oh no, thank you. I had a lot of fun talking to you, Shiratsuki. After that, I left the banquet and started off once again on my patrol. Perfect place to end it, unless we go to the map again. Map, select 3. Oh, we do. Oh! So these things move. Oh, these ones are different now. Oh, okay. Well, I want to see something. Can you go to the flowchart now? Oh. Here's where we hit the thing, right? Common Route 1, we had the map, and we went to all 5 of those places. And then we did with Akuro, right? And now here, busy superior, information, finding here to fighting. Oh! Okay, because that's what I was thinking, right? Well, what's the point of the map if you're going to all these places? You know, if you're going to go to all of them, but you don't. I guess that first section of map, you go to all of them, and they're always the same. But these ones are different now, because that would make more sense. That's what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like, we're supposed to go to Shiratsuki again. So we're going to go here, and then we'll end it. But I'm just going to start, because I'm not sure if we can, I'm not sure if we can go here. Nekomata problems. If I can save and by the map thing, but that's interesting because like when we first started, that's what I thought. I'm like, oh, you were gonna pick Shiratsuki because that's the route we're going down. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Those choices do change it because otherwise it's like that's so bizarre that we don't get to like that you're going to all these places. What's the point of having the map? You know, but now it makes more sense because the first one, you go to all the different places and you're doing all the scenes. So it doesn't really matter what order you go in because you're going to go to all of them. This one, it matters because that's kind of how you're picking your route along with maybe the choices you make when in the conversation. So this makes a little more sense now. Okay, I guess that first one is more like, we're just going to put the map up there and show you and then... But then I also wonder, like, we don't go to do any of the battles, so should we be doing those? I would assume the guide would tell me do the battle things, but, you know, but, and what if I did the battle, would then I mean not go to see Shiratsuki? Maybe you do the battles more in the final one? I don't know. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.